Good after day. Good after day. I know, right? Hope everyone is having a spectacular evening, and welcome to the show.
Yeah.
You know what? Hang on. I'm gonna zoom in. I feel like.
Don't zoom in.
Yeah, we don't need this much.
Oh, that's too. I don't want to see them that close. What's up, David?
I guess we could have checked this before we went on, but.
Okay.
Alright, we good? Alright. Hey, alright. Good evening, Wisconsin's in the house, Canada, Trinidad.
What's up?
David. The land of David. North Carolina. What's up, guys?
What's going on?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
68 in Massachusetts. That's wonderful. Milwaukee, Northern Maine.
That's what we use for drugs.
Good evening, Bruce. Oh my God.
What's Andres?
Is that a new Sonata? Yes, it is. New Jersey. Andres. Richard. Rob. Kenny. Woohoo.
What's up?
Flint, Michigan, where the water is always refreshing. Hey guys, Christian, what's going on? It's been a fun day so far today. If you're interested in what's going on in this, make sure you head over to Instagram where you can check out 5 Minutes of 5-Star, or just go to the 5-Star page and check it out, or just wait till next Monday when you can see all of it in its entirety, where we do the rebroadcast of the show. Savannah, Georgia, PA in the house, Fort Myers, it's me, Nissan Rogue Sport. Hey, what's going on, man? East Tennessee, I'll be in Tennessee this summer. I'm excited.
You?
Going to Dollywood.
This summer?
Yeah, July. You know. So it's been one heck of a day so far, and it's only Monday. Cut my finger open. You know, lots of fun there. What else is new? Hey there, I've installed both kicker keys. Should I set the crossover on both to 80 hertz? Depending on how you did it, yes, that's a good place to start. But yeah, why not? Yes, go for 80 hertz.
Timothy.
I will, if we're doing a front stage upgrade, a lot of the times I've been just leaving it at 60. Where we just put it active on the front and then a sub, I've been leaving it at 60, mainly just because the rear is doing what it wants to do and it just kind of works out and it's not a ton of power. What's up, DNF? Love Dollywood. Never been there, super excited. Tessa needs to make Band-Aids. Oh, right?
That would be cool.
Who wouldn't want to own one of those?
No, you know.
And they'd leave sticky residue on your finger when you took them off, right? Isn't that what?
No, honestly, if I'm a tool manufacturer like Milwaukee or
you're making Milwaukee bone?
I would make those Band-Aids because why not?
What's up, Mr. Van Hoy? Sunny in St. Louis. I missed what you said last time.
About the Civic?
Civic, do I need 70 and a 71 harness? Will this still work? Yeah, it'll still work. If you can't get your hands on the, aka Mobile Dog, if you can't get your hands on a T-harness, which more than likely you can't, then a 70 and a 71 will still work. Sometimes you do need two 70s just to fill all the pin locations. The 71 typically has, I don't know why they do this, typically has all the pins you need there. Good old Gatlinburg area. Yep, that's where we're going to stay. Got a cabin. Going to do all kinds of weird stuff. I don't know. There again, I'm just paying for it and going. It's all Haley and Sue planning the whole thing. So.
Yeah. Any chance?
I'll carry 60 on both. Yes, front accent. I mean, Dave, if you have a subwoofer, 80 is fine. Like, 80 is fine. I would do 80. Like, normally we're doing 80 if we're doing, like, front, rear, sub. 80 is where it's at. It's just when we're not doing rear through an amplifier, I go a little lower because what inevitably is going to happen is the person is going to fade it to the rear and then fade it to the front, and they're like, the rears have more bass. And you're like, yeah, because there's an active crossover on the front, and I got to have that whole explanation.
Yeah.
So I just go 60 to protect our speakers, and then let them figure it out. So tubing, probably not tubing because Haley's not big on the whole water thing. I know we live in Florida, but yeah, so
What's up, Juan?
Installer, Band-Aid, paper towel, and Super 33. Let me tell you what, when I did this, when I chopped my finger off with the router, that's exactly what it was. It was just in 3 hours of holding my finger as tight as I can because tape wasn't gonna work. So, but yeah, it was just a wad of paper towel.
Yeah.
And actually, it's funny. I bought a bunch of Band-Aids, and then I didn't remember where I put them. And like literally right before the show started, I go, I found the Band-Aids. So I put on a real Band-Aid, but what I had on it was just Tessa tape and a Band-Aid underneath it because the Band-Aid always falls off. I haven't watched the Steve Mead video yet, but it's on my list of things to do.
Mr. Jeff Smith.
Cookie Monster is in the house. I didn't have time to do anything yesterday. I mean, it was like nonstop. I just finally sat down at like 10:30 last night to eat dinner, so it was nuts.
Crazy.
Lots of crap going on, but let's get into the show because we got a fun-packed, filled adventure for you. If that made any sense, which it didn't. Every week we give you from the 12-volt Clean Wire Club the installer clean wire thing of the week. And this week is no exception. We have another person here to show. So let's take a look at it. Ooh, who did this one? I see that little green piece of wire ruler there.
Yeah. That's his name is Gerardo.
All right.
Gerardo Gomez. He did that, and he
works at a shop, right?
Yes.
Do you know the name of the shop? We don't know the name of the shop.
Don't remember the name of his shop, but that's his shop. Yeah.
Yeah. When I first saw this, I was like,
that looks familiar.
I was like, did I do that? And then I was like, oh, it's ARC. No, I didn't do that. And then I was like, we don't use yellow terminals.
You never put the...
I don't like to do ferrules in Phoenix connectors.
But that looks good.
Well, it looks good. There's nothing wrong with it. It looks fine. See, the problem I run into is that I feel compelled to always put shrink wrap over them, and then when you do that, it gets big and silly.
Right, but like how it is, like that.
I think those are the next size down from what we have. Those yellow ones. So, because those look good. It all looks good. It all looks fabulous. I like it.
I like it.
Yeah.
He did an awesome job, man.
So, if you would like to be featured on the cover page of the 12-volt Clean Wire Club, like so many have in the past, by all means, submit your work and do amazing stuff. What's up, Bobby?
Bobby.
Fishing in the Keys.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's Sue's dad.
Oh, okay.
That Bobby.
Oh.
The other Bobby.
The other Bobby.
You know, not that Bobby, the other Bobby.
Yeah.
All right. So, anyways, that's that. At the 20-minute mark, we have a great fundamentals lined up for you.
That's
so,
right.
Just let's get going. Hey guys, long time. I don't tune in. Glad to see you doing your thing. We are still doing our thing.
We're still here, man.
Why not, right? And what else would you be doing in the wonderful world of wake up, do the same thing every dang day? Are the Focal K2 3.5s the same size as the Fax 3.5s? They're not actually 3.5s. They're more like a 2.75, and I believe they're very similar in size.
Yeah. I think the K2 is a little bit deeper.
Yeah.
A little bit, but
I think their circumference is the same, but they're not 3.5s. They're actually smaller than a 3.5. It's 2 3/4, I believe, but they're shallow. Yeah, oh, man, those slacks are tight. My sub makes battery level go down. What should I do first to fix the issue? Well, it depends. I mean, it's not your sub, it's your sub amp for one. So if you have a big sub amp and you don't have enough power to power it, changing that scenario is probably the way to go. First thing, obviously, is make sure that your power wire is all straight and taken care of. Meaning, do you have the proper size power wire? Do you still have that power wire calculator on the screenshot there?
Oh, yes, sir.
Let's pull that up. You just flick that way and it would have just taken you to a new page the other way. Oh, there you go. See?
All right.
Hey, look at you. You figured out how to do full screen.
I know.
So this is a power wire calculator here. You're going to need your charger.
I'm going to.
Okay. And what you'll see here is this is going to tell you how much amperage you have over here on the left, and then over here is how long you can make it. So you want to make sure first off that you have. Ooh, good catch.
That's good.
That was a good catch. You want to make sure that you have the right size power wire for the feet that you're running. Then you want to, of course, make sure you have a good ground. And then if you've checked everything, obviously putting a voltmeter onto the system will, you know, when the base hits, seeing what your voltage goes down to. Make sure you have a fresh battery. I can't tell you how many times people will come in to have us put a big system in their car and they haven't changed their battery in 4 years. It's like, this isn't going to work.
Yeah.
If all those things check out, then you may want to think about adding a bigger alternator and or a second battery. There we go.
Somebody asked about the Helix DSP. They can get any outputs from channel side. Jeff Smith, of course, is very, very familiar with this product. So if he say check your signal routing,
that would be what you check.
Yeah.
Which is funny because, I mean, I think you ran into that problem when we first started playing with the mini DSP.
I didn't know what to do. I'm like, I'm going to take
the
whole car apart.
You were like...
No, I was like you said last time. Literally to try to put the speakers, try to put the tweeter, try to put everything, amplifiers, and
then what happened?
Like,
I go, slow down. just...
I quit.
Give me the laptop.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just work our way through this.
I put
and like 5 minutes later,
wrong input.
Magically everything was working.
And I say, I knew that.
Do you have a favorite doubled-in CarPlay Android Auto head unit with a knob? Yeah, the DMX 1057XR is my personal favorite with a knob. It's also a 10-inch floating screen radio.
Now, if we go non-10 inch.
With a knob?
I think Kenwood makes...
No, not anymore. Sony's really it with a knob. But it's that little tiny knob off to the side, which is fine as long as your radio sits flush with the dash kit, but if it doesn't, it kind of sucks. And as far as it being my favorite, it's got a knob and that kind of fits your criteria, so, yeah.
Yeah.
Preference, Morel, Maximal, Ultra 602s, or 4Cal Flax? Ooh.
What are we talking about?
One. Flax or Ultimos? Ultras. I'm sorry, Maximal Ultras.
I would go with the Flax.
I think the Flax cost a
There's
lot
more power.
You want to be looking at, if you're talking
the
Maximal, Maximo's not that same price point.
No, it's not the
You'd
same.
want to look at the Virtus. Yeah, if you want to compare apples with apples, that's Virtus versus...
red and greens?
Yeah.
Apple red, apple green,
right? Are you following the bolts? Yes, I'm currently following the bolts in the sense that the girls are at a restaurant right now screaming their heads off as soon as the game starts. I got the, we're going to watch it here, and I'm like, have fun, I won't be there. Wire full cal components 2 ohm. That's only on the K2s are they 2 ohm, and that's why not? I mean, okay. Why not make it 2 ohm? If you have an amplifier that will play 2 ohm and you can get more power, K2s typically take more power. So one of our favorite things that we've done in the past many times is take a set of K2s and put them on the audio control D4.800 because that does awesome at 2 ohm. So we get the bigger power to them and we don't have to spend any extra money. I don't have to sell you the next size up amplifier. I can just go with that normal amplifier that I'm accustomed to, and you'll get the more power. So really what it comes down, what are we looking at?
No.
So like, for example, I could sell that amplifier for Flax or K2s because the Flax is going to be 4 ohm. It'll get the smaller power. Put the K2 in, it's going to be 2 ohm. I'll get the bigger power. If that made any sense.
All right. Favorite 7-inch without a knob?
That would be the 9907. 907. Or 9507. Any one of the Kenwood XRs. Just go to Kenwood Exelon and or you got pull it up on your page. What is the secret for adding Rockford Fosgate amps in a 2017 Camaro SS 1LE, non-Bose and no factory amp in the trunk area, factory head 8-inch factory head unit? Okay, it's a 2017, so I don't know what year they switched on that, if it's the 8-inch head unit. So that might still take a PAC Amp Pro, the GM PAC Amp Pro GM61. If it does, great, or it might also take the DGM3 from, which if you're a Rockford guy, the DGM3 would possibly work on that also. So you could do DSR1 on the DGM3. I don't know what year they switched from the gray-green or gray-yellow to the perfect squares. So I would definitely check those websites first. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go here. Oh, wrong picture. Sorry, that. Go there to pack-audio.com or maestro-datalink.com and you can see it. You got those radios up? We're going to head over to Fernando's laptop here for a second. Did you go? So go back up to the top of the page. Go back up to the top of the page, all the way up to the top of the page. Click on the X1,
Yeah, that's what I'm.
and then click on XR reference.
Okay.
And this will take you to, when you click on XR reference, this is going to take you to the reference series. So you got the 997, you got the 9907, and then if you scroll down, I think there's one more, which is the 957. Now basically all three of these are the same radios with the exception of one has navigation DVD, and they all have the audio pack, the audio grade disc, all the fun pieces. And when you go down, the next level down, it's the same radio, DVD, no nav. You go to the next level down, which is going to be this one. It's going to have no DVD, no nav. So they're all three the same. They're all three the same size. There's not a short chassis version of it because it uses the same circuit board throughout, which is a heavy... Dude, let me tell you what. When you pick one of these things... If you're an old school audio guy like me, when you pick one of these things up, you're like, oh, wow. Because they are heavy. And it's like, wow, that's awesome.
David, Dean, can you put that page in the DNF tool drawer?
Oh, that slide? Yeah, it probably wouldn't be a bad idea.
You know, that would be cool if we put that slide and the power chart.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so it's like, hey, go there and you can see that. Things to do tonight. Yeah.
And I'm making a list of things I have to do tonight because next week we're not going to be here because of the holiday. And so I don't have to do my normal Monday routine for getting ready for next week. So I have other stuff I have to do because there's never a dull moment.
All right, Rob, I'm about an hour and a half north of you, and I have a 2019 Ram 2500 with the 2500 and a small screen. Okay. I need a 5-channel amplifier and a recommendation on a sub. I drive a truck, so I will be for... I mean, in the end of the day, you gotta make an appointment. Call Paul. Sometimes you have to be very patient on the calling side of it. But call Paul, make an appointment, and yeah, I mean, we can get you in.
Okay, so on the 2017 Camaro, it doesn't look like the Amp Pro or the AR is going to work for that. So I'm thinking that might be when they switched.
Hey, Marty Dean.
Can't wait to see you, buddy.
Aussie Irons.
All right, so hold on, I'm going to check pack real quick.
What are we looking for?
I was looking to see if their website is so long. So there's a chance. Hold on. Alright, so if we're on pack-audio.com, we have the Amp Pro GM61. It doesn't matter whether you have Bose or not when you're dealing with this product. If your car has these harnesses, okay, so if it has these two harnesses located up in the passenger kick panel, I believe on that car that's where that's at. So if you see this harness and then the little square one, the square one will be first and this one will be back further. If you have those harnesses, then this will work because it's just going to use the most bus. If you only get audio through one side, then you just flip dip switch number 3, unplug it, switch to number 3, plug it back in, and they have audio on both sides. But that would be the easiest, best way to do that. Alright, cool. Main viewer.
Alright, I have a 2010 Infiniti G37X with the Bose system. I use an EQ app on my phone, tablet with the Dayton IMM6 microphone.
Yep,
and an RTA amp.
Yep.
Okay, after EQing, I notice a slightly reverb echo.
Okay.
What do you think it can cause that? Filter, time alignment, phasing, crossovers.
Jesus, all of that stuff.
Yeah, no kidding. Right?
So really, obviously, the key to finding anything like that is isolation. So what you're going to want to do is start segregating out speakers and seeing which combination is bringing that in. So like, for example, is it the passenger front speaker? Is it the passenger rear speaker? Is it when these two speakers are on but these speakers aren't? So you're going to want to see what's causing it and where it's coming from. Or is it just from the whole thing? In which case, is there something loose somewhere, a piece of plastic or a headliner or something along those lines? You know, start touching panels and figuring these things out. Don't always go at it with a grenade. Start small, start little, start doing things that are simple, and then work your way into something more complex. And then start worrying about, oh crap, it might be a crossover point.
All right, John, thank you so much. And right now is the 20-minute mark.
Oh, is it the 20 minutes?
It is the 20-minute mark.
Oh, what was that? What was that one?
How about?
That was a giant one that just like that.
Hang on, I saw.
Yeah,
what's up, Mel?
Mel.
Bill.
Okay.
Freeman.
20-minute
Bill's
mark. Here. All right. 20-minute mark. So let's do this real quick. All right. So at 20-minute mark, we are going to do. Hold on. Where's it at? Did I lose it?
Probably.
Where did it go? Oh, I deleted it.
Okay.
Oh, that sucks.
Well.
All right. So now it's time for fundamentals of car audio. That's right. And with that, let's go over here and click this. And we'll go to the laptop. What does a high preamp voltage do for you? One can only guess. First off, we need to understand basics of the path of sound. You have your output signal that comes from your source unit, and that's output, and inside of that signal is going to be a certain amount of noise. Then it goes through the amplifier, denoted by the gray box there, and you have a much bigger signal. You'll see the amplified signal. The red section in the middle is the amplified noise along with amplifier noise. So the amplifier is going to have a certain amount of noise that it is also going to create. Now keep in mind, not all of this noise is in the audible range, but it is there nonetheless. Amplifiers will amplify everything, including noise. That is something to keep in mind. So every piece you have in there is going to, so like if we add an EQ in here, then there'll be EQ noise, and then you're going to amplify that as well. So every step along the way, your noise is increasing because it's getting more and more. You're not going to have one lose its noise, so remember that. So now that we understand the basics of the path of sound, a few points about noise. All audio equipment has some amount of noise. All of it has noise. Now whether you can hear it or not is up to you. Deciding or dealing with that and deciding what is acceptable can be fun. Meaning at some point you have to decide, is the amount of noise it's creating worth the amount of effort I'm putting in to try to get rid of it, or can I even get rid of it? Is it too much noise for me to tolerate? Am I going to have to get better equipment? Give yourself a fighting chance if you are concerned about it. The better the equipment, the better your chances are. 100%. If you buy cheap, inexpensive equipment that doesn't have the proper filtering in it to help filter out the noise that is going to be there, you're going to have noise more so than you would with the better equipment. Not everyone's hearing is good enough to hear the difference. If you have to put your ear on the speaker to hear it, move on. There's only so much you can do. I can't tell you how many times I've had people that'll sit there and they'll be like, "Do you hear that?" I'll be like, "No, because I'm sitting here. It's 4 feet away from me. I'm never going to hear that." Okay? So if you're that person, then, whoa, you need to breathe a little bit. All right, so now that we got the basics of all that in place, what does 2 volt look like? So if you have a standard radio that has a 2 volt preamp output, you have your amount of signal to the amount of noise. The red thing, just like on the previous, is the amount of noise. So that's what it is. The lower output from the source unit means a higher input gain on the amplifier. This means a higher amount of floor noise. Floor noise can also be called gain hiss. It is a hiss sound that increases when you turn up the gain to get to proper output. It can also be there at low gain depending on the equipment, and that kind of falls back into the cheaper equipment thing. The picture is showing you how the amplifier gain is set up from 6 volts to 1.8 volts. With the amount of a 2 volt signal, we have to turn the gain up quite a bit, and what you're going to see is that amount of signal to the amount of noise. The red is the amplifier gain, the red is noise introduced from the amplifier, and the red of course is just the doubling or tripling or quadrupling of the noise coming over the signal out of the radio. There again, this might be something that you don't even hear, it just depends on the equipment, but this is to give you a visual representation of what is actually happening. What does 4 volt look like? So now we have the same amount of noise coming out of the amplifier, but we have twice the amount of signal coming out. So twice the signal output, half the noise. This was Alpine's sales pitch for 4 volt. This is literally what they'd come in your store and say to sell the consumers on 4 volt. They also said it would be louder. That was not true, and I'll get to that in a second. The volume is the same as 2 volt. Max volume is max volume. The best feature is low gain to get to max volume, which means less noise. Now if we go back a slide and we look at the amount of signal, not that, sorry. If we go back and we look at the amount of signal on a 2 volt system and the amount of signal on a 4 volt system, as you notice the amount of signal there is the same. It doesn't matter what is going on, meaning 6 dBs or 5 dBs of gain overlap is 5 dBs of gain overlap. 0 dB is 0 dB. It's not like where a radio clips, it's always going to clip. Okay, so if we've got that amplifier set up to maximum sensitivity, and this is, if it's going to put out 75 watts, it's still going to try to put out 75 watts at 2 volts of input. You just have your gain open really far. And then if you have 4 volts of input, it's still only going to put out 75 watts. It's just now your gain, as you can see, going back to the other slide, your gain there is at like 1 o'clock, where your gain here is closer to 8:45. And then you'll notice that the amount of total noise has been reduced because we have way more signal. Therefore, we don't have to turn our gain up so sensitive, and we will actually have reduced amounts of floor noise. So the misconception is when you go to a 4 volt, everything is louder. It's not louder. It's the same 75 watts you're going to get. But your floor noise or your gain noise or your gain hiss is going to be definitely lower because our amplifier input sensitivity doesn't have to be turned up quite so high. So this would be the argument for the hotter preamp out voltage. Now, with that, a lot of people will ask, well, what about if I run, the radio? We're not going to get into that because this is strictly RCA, because we need to understand how this works first before we can go deeper into the rabbit hole as far as that goes, because then we have to worry about distortion and clipping and all those other fun things. So with the preamp section, most good preamps will get you to about 95% of the volume knob. Some of them will do 100% of the volume knob. So we want to see what that looks like so that you understand why you want a 4 volt, what that means for your gain structure, and the noise that is going to be generated from it. So we got to see that here. 4 volt looks like this. 2 volt, noise. It's all about the noise and that gain hiss. Unless you're one of those guys that says, bro, man, my volume knob's on my gain. My gain is only halfway up. I could go so much further, man. Make it loud.
Make it loud. Yeah.
What's up, Mom? All right, there you go, guys. This has been Fundamentals. Moving
Fundamentals. All right. Do you know? I'm trying to find it. I don't know where it is.
Hey, man, there's all types, Robert. There's all types.
Do you know what's the yellow black stands for? No info on the installation manual. It's a PAC RP4 AD11.
PAC typically doesn't use anything yellow-black for anything.
Right.
But yellow-black, keep scrolling. Yeah, it would have been there.
That would have been here, but it's...
Yeah, there would be no yellow-black, because yellow-black's not a color that they use.
They use the blue yellow,
blue-yellow
for the Kenwood stuff. But
Pack has never used a yellow black wire. That's kind of weird that you'd see it, unless it's for something else. If it's an open black yellow wire hanging out, like with an end, like that's kind of odd. But if it's a, do we have a picture of the harness? It could be a secondary wire that goes from one piece to another.
Yeah.
It's
a.
Yeah, so
I'm pretty sure it's something like around here, but yeah.
Yeah, there's really no black yellow on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Black yellow was foot brake for Alpine.
But
so
yeah,
that's all that is.
Yeah.
I have zero noise in my new ride. That's because I put it in. And it's a Toshlink.
Oh, okay.
From Mobridge. I'm fundamentally tired. Aren't we all? What about the old 8-volt Eclipse decks? That would be wonderful, but most radios nowadays wouldn't know what to do with that 8-volt, man. That would be crazy. Most amplifiers nowadays wouldn't know what to do with that 8-volt. I mean, they'd think it was high-level input, and they would just do all kinds of weird things. The older you get, the less noise you hear. Yeah, well, see, I have induced noise now. I just have constantly gain hiss in my ears, so I got nothing to worry about there.
Do you know if you all knew... I mean, do you know if you all this about... You talk about the Technic PMP, fake engine noise bypass. So he said he added to the 2020 BMW M2, everything is working great. You can unplug it, add the module. Just want to let you know.
Oh, okay. I got you. Okay, so here it is.
Yeah.
So the technical PMP fake engine noise bypass harness, and add a sub to the 2020 BMW M2. Everything is working great. You can unplug the ASD module. Oh, you can't unplug the ASD module anymore. The audio goes into
the piece.
Oh, that sucks.
The audio goes into the module first, then into the factory amp. They are a company down in Central Florida.
So somebody makes a harness for it?
I think somebody make it a bypass, yeah. So you don't have to unplug it anymore. I mean, I feel that it's like,
John,
yeah.
put up a link. I'd like to go back and find out who they are. I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah. But I would love to. I'd love to just confirm. Fro's in the house. What's up, Fro? So in case anyone's curious, don't forget Thursday night, 9:45 Eastern Standard Time, Side Jag with me and Mr. Robert Hi-Fi Vega. We'll be doing Foot Fist Way review along with Mr. Fro as our special guest. So Jason will be there from Stereo Kings to tell us what he thought about Foot Fist Way. That is every Thursday night. It happens to be right after a show that's on directly before that, which is at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, which is Reverse Polarity with myself and Mr. Hi-Fi Vega on the Hi-Fi Network. Side Jag is on its own network.
Technic PMP. Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's them.
Yeah,
all right, save that.
Them. Yeah.
Yeah, save that. Yeah, just drag it to the desktop. Thank you, John. Yeah. All right, cool. You know what? I've been to this site before.
Yeah?
Yeah. I just didn't know what they had because, like everything else we do, we have like 5 minutes to do everything. Yeah, I love Eclipse head units. Yeah, back in the day, man. Is it best to ground an amp with 1 foot of wire to the trunk or run a longer ground closer to the battery, say back seat? The thing you have to keep in mind about the big misconception of the shorter grounds, longer grounds, blah, blah, blah. Really what it comes down to is first, the construction of your car. How good is your car's construction? Okay, 2, how big of a power wire are you running? All right. So the reason why we always told people keep the ground short was that not everyone understood that if you have a 4-gauge power, you should run a 4-gauge ground. So we just keep the ground short. You can make the ground as long as you want. It really doesn't matter. Okay. What matters is at that point, what is the ground plane of the car like? If we're working on a Ford F-150 made out of aluminum, we always just go directly to the battery, which is a hot button topic for a lot of people, but I don't care. But you know, if you have a boat, it's made out of fiberglass. You still put an amplifier in it, right? Where are you grounding it? To the battery. The idea is that the ground plane in the car is this big steel construction here, is your ground plane for the vehicle. and that hopefully the amount of steel, welding, glue, and all those things in the car add up to the same size or bigger as your power wire, meaning that the car's frame is equivalent to 4 gauge or bigger, so that is not a pipe problem. However, because cars are now glued together, not necessarily welded together, and there's welds on top of welds, and there's paint, and there's all this other stuff, you might not have a good ground point that's 12 inches away from the amplifier. In which case, a longer ground to a better ground point, let's say a factory ground bolt, would be a better place to do it, because if there's a factory ground bolt, chances are good that that is a good reference ground for the car. Not always, but most of the time. So I don't know if that helped, but hopefully.
Thank you, John, for the link.
Yeah, I have nothing else better to do. Yeah, exactly.
What's Gary from Sound Effects?
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Gary. What's happening?
Gary.
My best friend was named Gary for a long time.
Do you got this one? Do you guys have any solutions for a 10 generation Civic with a 12 speaker system? No luck with the Ampro or any other harness, I found.
Well, that was going to be the Metra piece. Yeah, that's Metra. Go to pack-audio.com. I'm sorry, go to metraonline.com right there, metraonline.com. They make a interface for it.
The access.
Because it is a digital input into the factory amplifier. The one thing that we've found, and I don't know if they've corrected yet, is that there is an echo with the Bluetooth when using their interface. However, the sound that you get out of it is phenomenal. They sell it as a DSP. We don't typically use their DSP. We buy the basic version because they make a basic and a pro, and then we go into whatever DSP we want to. However, if you don't have a DSP and you'd like to use their pro, it does have a lot of stuff available to it, and you can tune it on your phone.
Yeah. Now, when you download the app in your tablet or whatever, make sure you download the right app for the DSP. I have a friend that called me and is like, man, doesn't work, but he used it.
Originally I started the old one too, and I was like, why is this? Oh, whoa! You mean they've updated the app with the whole new app? Okay. 2010 Honda CR-V Kenwood 407. Can't get the Maestro steering wheels to work at all. Yes, because that's that 4407S. Ooh, yeah. I would call, so the problem is on those newer ones, that's that one that has the weird plug on it. It's 2 plugs, and that's a German plug, European plug. You may need to add a resistor. So the resistance changed a little bit, but I'd give them a call if you haven't already. And say, hey, and I'm sure at this point they have a solution for that. Most manufacturers have, but yeah.
What's up, William Burt? Best
vehicle I'll work on that sounded amazing. Do you have an amazing sounding vehicle?
I mean,
I don't really think about it that much. I gotta be honest with you.
It's just like, I mean, the Addison, that was really like wow.
Yeah, the T-Rex or whatever the hell it is.
The Raptor.
Yeah.
Not a T-Rex.
It's
close, but not a T-Rex.
Short arms, big teeth.
Yeah. Yeah, but the Addison, that was like, I really enjoyed that one.
To kick or not, what is the purpose of kicks in the overall front stage?
Ooh.
Oh, what is the purpose of kicks?
Kicks or no kicks, yeah.
Most people don't do kicks anymore unless they're competing, in which case they're totally about it, but it's to move the soundstage more forward. I mean, the whole purpose of SQ, competing. Let's call it competing. The whole purpose of competing is to get the soundstage as far forward as you can to create as much of a front sound field as you possibly can do. And that was the purpose and why people still do kicks. They're just trying to move those speakers as far into the front of the vehicle as possible to create a wider, more balanced soundstage. Your own cars have best sound, maybe? I mean, not that I've ever heard, no, because I mean, I haven't had a stereo in a car in a very long time.
Okay, so now that we talk about the F-150, it's the same one that Thomas is talking, and the Addison old digital system.
Yeah, that was the Raptor.
Has ever back for the upgrade.
Yeah. Yeah, he's upgraded to a Mercedes-Benz. No, he loved that car.
He's like,
so
that's it. That's
the
what we
Subaru,
want.
the Audison Subaru we did a couple months back was his son's car. And then he just got a new Mercedes that he's going to deck out. He loved the Audison system in the truck. So he's like, you gotta understand, he's a guy that thinks everything through. It took us like 3 months before we even like finalized that system because he thinks everything through, pitches every scenario, and he's the kind of guy that's like, I only want to do this once, so let's just make sure we get it right this time. And that's how it basically played out. Yeah, it was not even a question of, the only thing that ever changed on that was we went from 1 sub to 2. Because I told him to do 2 subs and he argued with me about it, and then they blew the sub the first weekend, and I was like, so we had Frostbite make him a custom box, and there we go. May you rest in peace, Frostbite. That was fun. But if you're interested in a subwoofer enclosure, today's
Dylan,
Yep,
real quick, just type the information of your car, year, model, all that stuff, and I will find it for you.
You good? All right. In today's episode of Spotlight, we have a Old Faithful. We have MTI Acoustics. That's right, MTI Acoustics. If you guys remember, they were a sponsor of the show a couple, last year sometime.
Yeah.
And Fernando wanted to bring them back because, for one, we've had a bunch of our guys have ordered boxes from them, and they got a new website. And also, they're building a new super factory. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
They bought a gigantic building, and they're just taking it to the next level. But this is the F-150 enclosure, as you saw. There's the table set up. But let's head over to the
two-tone. Yeah, go to the website so they can see.
If we head over to the lab site.
Yeah, close.
Yep. If we head over to the laptop and we can take a look at the website, you can find it at mtiacoustics.com. If you scroll down here, they've added in finally, they do custom A-pillars for you. So if you're someone that would like to have A-pillars, for F-150s, they have them in stock, but you could probably also send yours in to have them done. And then you just simply pick on the truck that you would like. And in this case, one of our most populars is the F-150. They have pictures of enclosures for you to choose from to give you an idea. And then, like, here's the new behind seat box, so if you wanted to go behind the seat. And all these boxes are available. This is a double. You can get in a single, and they'll build anything you want. You don't actually have to just, pick from a la carte. If you'd like, one of the things they were talking about they do is you put a sub on one side and a tray on the other. It's something you can have done, which I find very helpful. But yeah, Kicker did an MTI contest. Oh, cool. Yeah, I saw them on there. I don't remember. But definitely, if you're interested, if you want to get a truck, they also make all the seat riser kits, so you can lift up your seat, put much bigger subs underneath there if you want to. They're pretty neat. It's just a fun web page to tool around, and if you have a pickup truck, it's definitely the place to go. On a scale of 1 to 100, how close to 100 can you get an idea before you need to do fabrication? Close can you get to ideal before you need to do fabrication?
In a scale?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, everything has a certain level of fabrication. I mean, even a basic tweeter mount, like basic tweeter mount in this truck, has some form of fabrication to it. It's really, see, fabrication is a tricky thing. Most fabrication is not fabrication for purpose of installation. It's fabrication for purpose of beauty. Okay, so that's where a lot of the fab comes in, is that you're trying to build something that's extremely gorgeous. For that, you need 100% fab. Like, there's no hiding that, pretending that, working around that. But if you're doing fab for purpose of, like, normal installation, everything's going to need some form of a fab. Just mounting a speaker in the door of this truck needs some form of a fab bracket. So, like, there's always some form of fab. It's just a matter of how much fab you want to do. And Ada does no fab. He's not even a real installer.
Who?
Ada.
He's not?
No.
Really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, he's like, the question makes no sense. Like, he would know. He can't even turn on a laser.
No.
I'm joking. Just it's an ongoing joke we have.
Okay. All right. So for Dylan, it's a 2021 Civic Type R. And yeah, man, can't find nothing.
They might not.
It's like nothing in there. It's like I went to Metro, I went to Access, and they don't list nothing for your car.
So the thing you have to keep in mind is it might not be any different than a 2020. It's just they haven't gotten their hands on the 2021 yet, and most of these radio kit manufacturers will not validate a product and say that it will.
Until,
That's not to say you can't call them and ask, hey, has anybody validated this product, or are we just waiting? Because sometimes they know that it'll work. They're just waiting for someone to plug it in and tell them. So that could be you.
So like you say, is the same as the 19. So
yeah,
it might work. The other thing you can do is probably take the amplifier out, take some pictures, see if you
check the
those
plug.
Harnesses match with the pictures of the Metra or the Axis.
So it's the same thing.
Same thing.
With tweaking the front stage time alignment into thinking the speakers are further out than you measure them to be helpful, or will that not help make it seem further away? It could make it sound unnatural. So like a lot of the times what you'll start to get is an echo. And if you're old enough, William, to know that like back when DSP first came out, remember we had hall, church, stadium, it was like you're going to start to get fun stuff like that. So there's a delicate balance as far as moving stuff out before it gets to sound fake and really weird. So any budget DSPs with optical? Pretty much budget DSP depends what your budget is. If you're thinking like that sub $300 or $400 range, I think the Audio Dynamic has it. I think so. I mean, I think it does. That was pretty cheap. Let me check. Maybe not.
Maybe not.
Nope, it doesn't. No, but I think their bigger one does. That was still pretty reasonably priced. Personally, I would look at, I mean, you know, $500 is kind of the price for a DSP that doesn't suck. Too bad.
All right, so Jeff say Connects to Scotch has a kit for the new Civics.
Yes.
But that they have, what happened if they don't want to change?
Connects to Scotch has a kit for the new Civics. Well, so does Metro. Metro has that new kit for the Civics.
So check Scotch.
But that's a kit. Who wants a kit?
Right. He might want to keep the factory radio and yeah.
Connects to. Who's Connects to, Jeff? Who are those guys? Maybe check Spiral Audio? But no, I mean, if we're trying to integrate into the factory radio.
Thank you, Dylan. We appreciate it, man. He's a tech for Honda.
Who is? Dylan?
Dylan.
Oh, if Dylan says it's the exact same as the 19, then that'll work.
No, I mean, he's asking for that harness. That's his car, probably.
Oh, well then.
But like,
if he's a tech, then I mean, he can look at picture for picture.
Yeah.
So I mean, if he's okay, so if a 2019 and a 2021 have the same harnesses, you can look at the pin configuration. Obviously, if he's a tech, you can also check to see if it has the black digital bus connector on it. If it has a black digital bus connector on it, chances are good it's going to be the same thing. I mean, there's a chance it might not, but either way, you're going to have an echoey car with Bluetooth, because that doesn't. Or any phone, for that matter. But it's going to sound great. Is there a perfect subwoofer trunk location, front, back, facing, or anyway? I don't know if there's a perfect one, but obviously the most popular one is firing your subwoofers to the back of the car. I mean, that's always been the de facto cut the wave, reflect it off of it, and make it sound good. You know, an SQ guy might say infinite baffle. Sound good, like 215s and an infinite baffle firing into the car I've heard that. That's pretty nice, but that's a lot of work and a lot of money.
Hey guys from Houston, what do you guys recommend to use to add an amplifier in a 2019 Lexus ES300? Can't seem to find nothing.
That's because there is nothing. Lexus, something like that is always going to be like, oh man, that's going to suck. Basically, what you want to probably look to do is some form of a DSP amplifier with multiple channels. Something like for example, Audison makes the Forza line of amplifiers. It's an 8-channel in, 8-channel out DSP. The other thing too is in a car like that, a lot of times what we end up doing is what we call a front stage upgrade, meaning we find where the part of the sound that sucks, which is usually the front speakers, if it's a 3-way set or a 2-way set, whatever it is, and we amplify just those. So, for example, if it has a 3-way set up front, something like a Forza, it can take those 8 channels in. It's got an EQ, DSP, sound processor, and all that fun stuff, so we can tweak the sound, mainly the EQ. We don't need to do time alignment or anything like that, because more than likely it's done already if it has a premium sound system. But we can put those 6 channels on that and increase and improve the front sound stage. And then we can also go back in and put in some form of a subwoofer onto it as well. So there's a lot of variations, but we call that power for power. The new AP4T R2 works on the Lexus ES. Check the new update application guide on the website. Or, if you're lucky, you might be able to use the new Amp Pro TY13 R2, which is what we're using in this Toyota.
Yeah.
So there's a chance that might work. If you head over to...
Audio.
Not that. Whoa.
Right
hold
here.
on. Let me just pull up the artwork.
Yeah.
I feel like we should just run a ticker in the bottom for this. If you head over to pack-audio.com and check the application guide for that particular product, you might be in luck and it might work.
There you go.
So Jeff is saying that it might work, so that would be spectacular.
Mm-hmm.
You'd be all set and ready to go, in which case you get 6-channel preamp output, or you can buy the Toshlink and go from there. Or the method that we did also say is a perfectly viable solution too. So use high-level inputs, so use high-level as inputs.
Use a high level as an input.
Yes, I think.
Well, I mean, but now if you
before,
yes. Yeah, then you like.
So you do high-level as input, yeah. So basically if the Amp Pro works, definitely do the Amp Pro. Otherwise, yes, you do what's called a speaker for speaker, so high level into the amplifier, out to whatever your new speakers are going to be. It's not the best or worst way of doing it, it's just the only way you can do it. You don't want to start summing and all that crazy stuff, because then it gets really weird.
Mm-hmm.
How far on the Toyota? Not enough to get excited about it, that's for sure.
Not at all. Nope.
Yeah, definitely not enough to get excited about it. Gotcha. Alright, yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Summing is junk. I would agree wholeheartedly. I hate to sum. If I don't need to sum, I don't want to sum.
No?
No, it was fun for a while, but now it's just a pain in the butt and everything sucks. It's like, just buy a multi-channel amp. Or a big-ass DSP.
Mm-hmm.
I mean... It's just a pain, you know, because then you spend more time trying to fix the issues you're having than you would have had not. We were trying to find their application guide for that.
Yeah, I was trying to find that pero
what happened?
IP4.
It's not an I, it's an A.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You got it right there.
TY13 R2.
Yeah, that's it right there. Bottom.
Perfect.
What's the next movie on Side Jake? Foot Fist Way. After that, we don't know because we leave it up to Fro to pick, so he's going to add one to the list and then take it off. So, no, I got the movie thing. So I'm still having a hard time sitting through Foot Fist Way. I know. I'm glad I got the extra week because I haven't had the ability to finish it yet. So it's killing me. So does it show the Lexus?
It shows the 350, not the 300.
Okay.
So right there.
So Fernando's looking. He went over to pack, and it has the ES 350 all trims. So the 350 and the 300 might be the same thing.
Might be.
I don't know. There again, it's a possibility.
It's a possibility.
But yeah, so it's a possibility right there.
Yeah.
There's your touch link.
But it's just that, like, it says the ES 350 is compatible.
Yeah.
So that will be it.
Okay.
There you go.
Perfect.
Watch The Matrix.
I'd love to watch The Matrix.
I love that movie.
Matrix is awesome. We've told that story. That was when I bought my first Blu-ray player.
Yes. Engine size is different.
How big does kicks have to be? It depends. They don't necessarily need to be all that big. It's just a matter of placement. And now with 300 to 350. All right, so Jeff is on point. Way to go, Jeff. You need to update your screen. No mask. You know, when you're looking at, like, for example, with the kicks, if you look at, like, the new Morel Virtus, carbon nanos.
Okay.
You know, they're this thin. Like, you could make a set of kick panels that just, like, yeah. So you can get really crazy now with those things.
All right, it is true? That you use a 5-channel amplifier and you don't have enough power on the 5th channel for the sub, you take away from the speakers? I never heard that.
Okay, so most 5-channel amplifiers use a single power supply. All right, so that's it. Like, there's one power supply in a 5-channel. But the output devices are broken into the corresponding pieces. So it's like you get what you get. It's not like if your sub channel is too small, it's not like it's gonna get bigger on its own. You just need a bigger amp. It's not going to take away from the mids and highs because it has no way. It's not like you can say, computer, reroute the power to the deflector shield. Routing, it doesn't have any of that capability. It's just like...
It's like, you don't need those 50 watts, give me two.
I mean, that would be wonderful if we could choose.
Awesome.
We could say, all right, I want, if we could go into the programming and say, all right, I want this to have 50 watts, I want that to have 75, and I want that to have 400, and it's like, oh, that would be awesome, but we're not there yet.
Yeah. Oh, awesome, Dylan. If you find it, I mean, it might work. Yeah.
No problem. Is dash mount always best for imaging? No, not always, but it just seems to be the totally accepted.
Dash mount.
There's been, I mean, obviously you can mount them in the kicks too. So it's just the distance things and where you're sitting back. Most of the time when you're sitting in an SQ show, the guys put their seats all the way back, as far back as possible. It's not like you're driving. So, if you're driving, then I would probably think that dash would probably sound better.
Dean, I bypassed the GTO on the DQ61 and it solved all my turn-off issues.
Yeah, we had that.
Yeah,
we had that problem with the LCQ1 and the Toyota 4Runner one time. And that's why we're like, just do away with it. 1,000 watts and turn down to your liking. Just buy 5 by 1,000, right? Is that what we need? 5 by 1,000, turn down to your liking. First amp that let you redirect power to
the shields.
I know, right? Wouldn't that be fun? That would be fun. I mean, the Phoenix Gold had something similar to that.
Yeah.
Because you could reroute the
power shift.
Yeah, power shift, which was probably the closest we've ever seen to that. But no one wanted to buy them, so
shame on you guys.
it went away. But power shift from Phoenix Gold was probably the closest thing we're going to see to that for a really long time. Sundown might be working on an amp like that. And there again, it's probably the same as power shift or redone as a power shift. But there's only so much I think you can do. And again, I'm not an amplifier engineer. I could talk to one about it, but let's be honest. Like, how many of us are really going to care? I mean, 5 by 1,000. That's it, right? Yeah.
What is the name of the tool you use to make the perfect round? Now we're talking about it. It's an hour already. So
it is called.
You don't have it in the DNF tool drawer?
No, it's called Positive Ground. Go to positiveground.com. It's just called positiveground.com. It's like the worst website ever.
That's the best. Nah. No, it's 1 hour.
Well, yeah, but you didn't go to the right place. You put a space there.
I have to give me.
Yeah, right there. Click it. Yeah. Click it.
Perfect.
That's it. All right, here we go. All right, Fernando Paz. Go to positiveground.com right there, and that's the kit. You can buy all the pieces individually, but that's the stuff we use, positiveground.com. And let's head over to here, to the laptop. DNF Tool Drawer is a place you can go find all the cool tools that we use in our installation. I don't think I have Positive Ground on there because it's a website and not something that we can link to. But either
you
way,
can go to the website.
Everything else is there, but head over to positiveground.com. Teespring. Teespring is a place you find all the cool 5-star stuff. Teespring.com/store/5-star is a place you can go and get all your cool 5-star shirts. We're working on some new ones because, like, why not? But if you'd like the newest one, if you scroll all the way to the bottom, you can find the newest one there, which is the cool green, blue, world 5-star, whatever the heck is going on there.
Rick and Morty.
Yeah. What's that?
Like Rick and Morty style.
Okay. Well, that's it, guys. That's the show. Yeah, that's everything. Did we hit all? Yeah, I think we did everything.
Yeah.
All right.
See you guys tomorrow on Instagram.
Yeah, you guys have a great
Thank you,
night
David.
as always, and we will see you later. Bye.
Bye.